My name is Oliver Butler. I'm the director of the Open House. For the last 10 years, I've run the theater company, the Debate Society. We're a downtown ensemble theater company. I saw Tom Paine based on nothing maybe when I first got to the city. I was building theater sets downtown. I was working on another theater company. So pretty aimless. I knew I wanted to be a director, but I really didn't have like a whole lot of momentum. And I saw Tom Paine, loved it, and since then I've tracked Will's work, and he's sort of become one of those sort of imaginary writers, or those real writers that I imagine working with someday. This play has been something that when I first read it, I laughed really, really hard. And then when we had our first reading, we did a series of readings to develop the play, I feel like I always found it like amusing and exciting, but I never laughed in the readings as much as I did when I read it on the page. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out like what's the secret here, because part of Will's writing, I feel like some of the comedy follows like a near vaudevillian sort of style. There's like, it seems like sort of well-constructed jokes. And then part of the play lives in this like heavily metaphysical world that feels more like sort of unknowable spirituality. So you have this like combination of these two things where it's like jokes that should land because they're funny and they are designed to be funny, and then other things that are just like weirdly uncomfortable and sort of like simmer weirdly that you can't actually know and understand. I think Will is dealing in this play in sort of a more straightforward setup. So I've been trying to figure out sort of like where the tone of the play lives. You could do this in a very caricature-based way. You could also do this completely naturally and just sort of like let the audience sort of struggle to figure out sort of where it lands. So I've been trying to figure out like how much do we show, how much do you play, how much do we let people in, how much do we let them sort of like figure it out longer. And I feel like I go through that a lot with the Debate Society as well. There's always sort of like the huge mystery that we usually reveal nothing of, and then very late in the process we're like, we have to tell them something. So I'm sort of used to that idea of like this sort of like slow revelation, which I can say now in retrospect, that has also become our process, both in working on readings of the play with Will over the last 6 months and also the last 2 weeks in rehearsal. I have been exceptionally happy that the whole team has been open to the idea of letting this thing become what it is versus trying to accomplish something that we already know. I think I learned that the experiment is working from my perspective.